Yeah, over to you, Hari. Please start.
Yeah. Hey guys. Good morning.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. Are you able to see my screen, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
So it is boring for yesterday's guys, but in new guys, I will give you a small intro about myself. And hey guys, this is Hari. So I'm a AWS DevOps engineer, and I'm working as a solution architect, and I have a 10+ years of experience as a real-time and a trainer. So currently I'm working as a senior DevOps engineer. And I did my certifications like I'm ITL certified, V3 certified, and Red Hat system administrator certified. I'm a Red Hat certified engineer, and also I'm a AWS certified solution
Oh,
architect.
this guy said 8:30 now.
Sorry,
You said the class starts by 8:30 p.m.
class start by 8:30 p.m.
Yeah. Like
No,
8:30
Saif.
American time. I just logged onto my system and I can see you are you started the trading already.
I just now started.
You have not
The
started?
class is just started.
Okay.
Hello.
I don't know if I'm looking at
Yeah.
this now.
Guys, one more thing. In the class, you have so many questions. After the class, we will have a 15 minutes of Q&A. In that class, you can discuss all your doubt with Hari, and also if you have any doubt, I will try to resolve it out. After the class, we will have a 15 minutes Q&A, so we can discuss the things. Thanks.
Yeah. So I'm a ITL certified, with a certified, I'm a Red Hat system administrator certified, I'm a Red Hat engineer certified, I'm also AWS certified solution architect. So guys, this is my intro. So who are joined newly in this class, can you please let me introduce yourself? Something like so your name and so where are you from, and so are you currently working which company, something like which platform or something like which company are you working? So why are you need to learn DevOps? Who are joining new guys, please let me introduce yourself. Something like 160 CSE. I think he joined you right today, right?
Hari, I think like I introduced myself, but if you want me to go over it again, I would love to.
No. So who are done yesterday? We don't need something like so who are joined newly, something like today. They who are started today. So those guys so let you introduce.
Oh, yesterday I wasn't here in the class. I was here the very first day.
Okay. So this is the first day, or you are on the yesterday?
This is my first time joining.
Yeah. Hey Rikish.
Yeah.
Tell me about.
I'm in Canada at the moment, and I'm not working in DevOps.
Okay.
But I'm very interested in DevOps because I've noticed that it's a parallel skill for cloud activities, and most of the jobs today, when they ask for solutions architect, they also ask for DevOps capacity. So they're a bit confused about what is actually the role of a DevOps and a solutions architect. So they mix everything together. So it's also a good opportunity to just know so many useful tools and to increase your chances on the market and be flexible, because there are times when DevOps is more in need, and there are times when solutions architect is more in need according to what I've observed in the market.
Very good. So are you currently working on which
No,
platform?
I'm not currently working in the cloud.
Okay, you are something like so your designation is now
What?
something like, are you working any IT related job or
No.
something? Okay. No worries. Thanks. So in end of the course, definitely you will understand. You will know something like a.
Yeah, I may not be here all the time because my job is fluent. So sometimes I'm available, sometimes I may not be available, just so you know.
Okay. Okay. No worries. You can go through the videos, recording videos.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next. So guys who are joined today, please let you introduce yourself.
Hello guys, I joined today. My
Okay.
name is Ola,
Okay.
currently in Canada.
Okay.
I've never worked in DevOps before, but it's a field I would like to dip my feet in, so that's why I joined.
Okay. So currently working as a.
Analyst, IT analyst.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Next, guys. So Dududara, something like Dududara is joined today, I think. So guys who are joined today, please introduce yourself. Guys, are you able to hear my voice?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we are able.
Yeah, guys. So let you introduce yourself.
Oh, I mean, those who joined like first time today or those
Yeah,
who
first time today, only first time today. I think Midja, you joined yesterday, right?
right.
Yeah. Remy, who is Remy? Ivane, Molly. Guys, introduce yourself. Who are joined today?
I guess I think we should start the class now.
Yeah.
Nobody's. Yeah.
They're acting shy.
Guys, can you please confirm? Are you able to hear our voice?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, great.
No
Great.
problem. We can hear you.
Yeah. Loud and good.
Let's
Thank you, guys. So, guys, what we discussed yesterday?
Yeah, we discuss operating system,
Yes.
how we use operating system and what kind of operating systems how many operating system we have, what companies, all about
Yeah.
operating.
Types of hardwares. So hardware companies are so provided two types of hardwares. One is for single user operating system, so other one is for multi-user operating systems, right? The same like as the operating systems also. So some of the companies, Microsoft, Apple, something like Linus Torvald. So they introduced a Linux, they introduced a OS, and so they will also provide two types of OS. One is for use single user operating system, and so other one is for multi-user operating system, right? So or something like a Linux. So Linus Torvald in 1991, so he studied in some of the university, so and he created a Minix OS, so that has some challenges, so he overcome the challenges and created a new OS. So he's trying to give that name to that voice. So took from something like his first 4 letters of his name and the last letter from Unix. So he took that and he created a Linux OS. So he released as a Linus Torvald released it. So this is the commutator for Microsoft. So he's the commutator for Microsoft. So he released as a open source. Released as a what he released as a open source. Guys, anyone knows what is open source?
Open source referring to
Which is free of
programs.
use.
Sorry?
That is, it's free.
Yeah,
Free of use.
free of cost.
Use.
It can always be modified.
Yeah,
You are free to modify.
yes.
Source code of the kernel.
Can I add something else to it?
Public. And you can use it and make your own operating system out of it.
Yeah. So there are two points in the open source, something like a free of cost. One is for free of cost. So other one is source code also available. Something like the code. So how we can develop that Linux code. So that code also available. So if you have a code, so you want to customize or not. So you have a source code also. You have a source code available. Have a source code available. So take that source code and customize whatever you want. Customize whatever you want. For example, I have a source code of Facebook or WhatsApp. So I have a source code of Facebook. So I can modify it or not. So I can modify it, right? I can modify it something like a. So I replaced with a Facebook instead of something like a book face. So I replaced book face instead of Facebook, and I released as a book face is the site, my site. I have so I don't want something like, I don't want a developer to develop the code. So it's already developed that code, and I got that code. So if you have that code, you can customize whatever you want, right? So whatever you want. So Linux OS is a open source and it's a free of cost, and source code also. Source code also available. So open source. So what is the difference between open source and commercial? So the first point is in open source, the first point is, what is the first point? Free of
Free of cost.
So what it in the commercial?
It's not free.
Not free
Yeah.
of cost.
Yeah, it's a need to
By license.
buy the license. Need to buy the licenses. So all Microsoft products are commercial. So if you want to use that software, before that we need to buy the license. So we need to buy the license. The second point is source code available. Source code available. So here
Not available.
no source code. So Linux is a open source, and Microsoft all the products are commercial. So now you got it right, guys. What is the meaning of open source and what is the meaning of commercial? right, guys? The same
Yes.
way, the same way.
Do you mind if I add one more point?
Yeah,
Yeah, for open source, we get no support or community support, whereas for commercial, we get the
yeah,
support from the company.
yes, yes,
Because in the AWS, right, it may help, if you know that.
yes, yes, yes. So Linux also something like so took that source code. Red Hat INC took that source code and created their own versions: Fedora, CentOS, and Red Hat. So those Fedora and CentOS are the free few versions, and the Red Hat we need to buy the support. We need to buy the license, something like a support. So Enterprise Linux, so they will get the support. Something like what is the difference between GUI and CLI? GUI means graphical.
User interface.
Yes. Graphical user interface. Example,
Windows.
yeah, Microsoft all OSs. All OSs are GUI. GUI. So what is the CLI? CLI means command line
Interface.
Interface. So you guys know, right? What is GUI? What is CLI? Something like, for example, so this is GUI, right? This is GUI. So we can able to view the image. We can able to view the image. We can able to minimize, maximize, something like all windows or something like whatever the Mac, everything is a graphical user interface. But Linux introduced as a CLI. Linux introduced as a CLI. CLI means command line interface. So I will show you the difference. So this is the AWS console. So what is GUI means? So with the help of images, we can build the OS. With the help of images, we can build the OS. So something like what is CLI means? So we can execute anything by command. We can execute anything by the command. So how we can, you see? So this is the command line interface. So this is the command line interface. So if you want to open or if you want to close, if anything, so we will do it from commands. We will do it from commands only. So everything will be do it from commands. So this is the command line interface. Something like our Mac OS. This is the something like this is. So this is the GUI graphical user interface. Everything will be doing something like and next or command minimize, maximize, what open. So how we can open the folder, something how we can see the contents of the folder. But here, so how we can see the content by using the ls command. Everything will be lv3 lv everything will be executed through the commands. So this is nothing but a command line interface. Something like our Microsoft Windows and Mac. So everything will be these all are the GUI. So how we can install our OS? So with the help of images, so we created a OS that is nothing but a GUI. So how we can execute our programs or our commands with the our something like our all the folders and the name, everything will be under command line. Now you got it right, guys. What is the difference between command line and a graphical user interface? So if you include in the something like, if you include images in the OS, so how much amount of space we need to install a one OS? So definitely it will be a 30 to 40 GB. So with 30 to 40 GB to install the OS on GUI mode. So if you want to install a OS on a CLI mode, command line interface. Command line interface means how we can execute something like, it's a help of something like command. Command is nothing but a letters, right? So how much amount of space we need to install a CLI type OS. So for example, if a graphical user interface, it will be a 30 to 40 GB to install the OS. OS, the same like as in command line, minimal, something like, for example, a default 8 GB to install the OS. So, and Linux is portable and highly secure. So compared to Windows, so Linux is portable because of, so it will be 8 GB to install the OS, and it is a CLI mode. There is no images, to install the OS. So if you want to install a Windows, it will be a 30 to 40 GB. So to combine with the images and with the help of image, everything, these all are the images. These all are the something like images. So with the help of images only, we can install the OS. So in CLI mode, so something like CLI means command line. So commands means something like PWD is means nothing but a letters. So how much amount of GB to install the letters or something like a command. So it will be a minimal, something like a 8 GB. So Linux is so highly popular, something like highly popular on a security side and a portable. It's a portable and it's highly secure. It's highly secure. So why it's secure? Something like so how it passes the viruses. So so something like through images, right? So something like something like we copied that images from one laptop to so another laptop. So if that computer having a viruses, it automatically comes under the images. If you put and if you copy it in the other OSs, something like other computer, so it automatically came from one computer to other computer, so through the images. So something like Windows OS, so created with the help of images, right? Something like it automatically comes through the images and it will affect to the images in the GUI mode. Something like why it is Linux is secure, so there is no images to build the OS. So something like how we can build the images with the help, how we can build the OSs with the help of commands. So commands is nothing but a letters. So we cannot pass the virus through the letters. So those are the letters, right? So that is nothing but a Linux is highly secure and portable. Highly secure and portable. So it's released as a CLI, command line interface. Now you got it right, guys. What is the difference between GUI and CLI? So what is the difference between open source and commercial? Open source and commercial. So Linux released as a open source. Released as a open source, took that code, and all the companies took that code and created their own customized OSs. So Linux OS, so released as a open source. So open source means free of cost. So it took all the companies. What are the companies? Something like IBM. Took that IBM, created their own Linux. So took that source code and created their own customized image. So that is nothing but a AIX Linux OS. IBM created Linux OS and HP. HP also created their own OS, is nothing but a UX Linux OS. The same way Sun created their customized image, that is Solaris. The same way Oracle took that source code and created Oracle. So Oracle Linux OS. The same way Red Hat INC. So Red Hat INC created 3 types of OSs. One is Fedora. So Fedora. The other one is CentOS. These all are Linux OSs. CentOS, and Red Hat Linux OSs. The same way something like a Debian. So created Ubuntu Linux OS. The same way SUSE. The same way something like FreeBSD. So every company, some of the companies took that source code, created their own customized images, their own customized OSs. IBM created AX Linux OS, HP created UX Linux OS, Sun Solaris Linux OS, Oracle Linux, Red Hat. So Red Hat created 3 types of OSs. One is Fedora, other one is CentOS, the other one is Red Hat. So Debian, so SUSE, FreeBSD, these all are took that source code and created their own customized images. Then were customized images, something like, for example, so they released as a versions, something like a Fedora starts from something like 11, 12, 13, 14, and so on. Now the version is something like a 29, for example. Now the version, the same like as a CentOS and Red Hat start from 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. The present version of CentOS and Red Hat is 8. The present version of CentOS and Red Hat version is 7. The OS's names are the flavor names is CentOS and Red Hat. The version name is CentOS 7, CentOS 8, Red Hat 7, Red Hat 8. So what we are discussing in this course, we are discussing a CentOS, a Red Hat 7 and 8 versions. So what we discuss? So Red Hat, CentOS 7 and 8 both are the similar. Red Hat 7 and 8. 7 and 8. So these all are the Linux flavors. So took that source code, and created their own customized OSs. Guys, now you understand, right? Guys, please respond.
Yes, Hari.
Yeah, you understand.
Yes.
So what is the version we are installing? We are using CentOS 7 or a Red Hat 7. So what is OS?
It's an operating system
Mm-hmm.
which acts like an interpreter between computer and humans, and there are 2 types of OS.
Mm-hmm.
And in this we are learning about Linux OS. And these are the companies IBM, HP, Sun, they created their own Linux as it's an open source code. They just modified it by taking the code. And we are now focusing on CentOS and Red Hat.
Yeah. So computer or hardware? Hardware knows which language?
Binary language, zeros and ones.
Binary language, zeros and ones. Zeros and ones, user knows which language? A high level language,
High level
means
language.
something like English. What we are talking? So we are talking through English, right? So what is the OS? OS is a mediator or a interface between, so mediator, the interface between user and computer. So the OS knows both the languages, right? Both the languages. So both the languages means binary and high level language, guys. So user and computer cannot communicate directly because of, so user knows high level language and computer knows binary language. So with the help of OS only we can interact with the OS, we can interact with the hardware, right? So this is a hardware. So this is the server, physical server. So what this server, the server is something like a Dell Power Edge, Dell Power Edge R710. So this is the model of hardware. So how we can interact with the hardware? How we can interact with the hardware? So how we can interact with the hardware?
By using the OS.
Yeah. So which OSs we are talking about?
CentOS and Red Hat 7.8.
Yes. So without OS, so we cannot communicate with the hardware, right? So I installed as a CentOS 7. Now I'm able to interact with the hardware, this server. So what we can do, something like we have a service request, right? We need to install the Java. So we install the Java and Tomcat. So once we install the OS, we can interact with this computer and we can install the Java and Tomcat. So then we deployed our code. So we deployed our code, right, guys? Code. So so we deployed our code. So where we can see it in the browser, we can see something like facebook.com. So once we hit in the browser, it automatically communicate with the server via HTTPS. HTTPS means, so this text is something like a notepad or something like this text is a normal text. So I want to see a hypertext. So whatever we see something like whatever we see in the browser, this is nothing but a hypertext. This is nothing but a hypertext. So hypertext transfer protocol. So this text will be transferred via HTTPS and we can see it on the web browser. So that is nothing but a hypertext. So this is the, so something like this is the normal text. So this is the normal text. So I want to see this text in the web browser. So the text is nothing but a hypertext. These all are the hypertext. These all are the hypertext. What are the pages we see on the web browser? So those are the hypertext pages. Now you got it right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is the So this is the environment. This is the environment. Something like I have a thought. I have a thought, something like a Facebook. So I installed, I buy the server, Dell PowerEdge server, and I install the OS, and I install the Tomcat, and I deploy the code. So where I keep this in, I keep it. So I keep it in my house. I keep it in my house. So because in the house. So something like in house, I have only one power backup. So only one backup and only one internet. So internet. So I have only one power backup and I have only one internet. So something like I deployed something like facebook.com in the my server. That server is in the my home. So something like I have only one power backup and I have only one internet, for example. So the first day, second day, third day, so 10 days. So 10 days, something like the users are increased day by day. The user size increases day by day from, so first day, something like 500 people are signed up. Something like a 10th day, something like 50,000 people are signed up in my site. And so something like my site is something like the UI is very easy to understand. So and it's a good UI. So everyone is attracting this site, and so everyone something like peoples are increasing to sign up this and created their accounts in the Facebook, and they are using the Facebook. So after 10 days, after these 10 days, my internet is good, my power is good. So after 10 days, every 1 hour, after 10 days, every 1 hour, so every 1 hour, the power will go down. So the power will go down. So if the power goes down, so there is no backup, only one backup is there. So if the if the power goes down, the page will reach or cannot reach, guys.
Cannot
No,
reach.
it can't
Cannot
reach.
reach, because the server was in down state.
Down.
So right. So every 1 hour, so something every 1 hour, our something like our site is down. Something like I cannot be reached. The guys, 50,000 people are trying to connect. Something like they are facing intermittent access. So the intermittent access the same way. So after, so every 5 hours or every 3 hours, the internet also will goes down. Internet also goes down, something like then that time also it will not access the site, right? So something like the people are hesitating, and decreasing the sign up, something like. So so 50,000 will decrease to 40 to 10, no, something like. Now the guys are 500 people are there in the my website. So after 10 days, it will start to decreasing. So it will start to decreasing. So what is the solution? So what is the solution? Guys, tell me. So what is the solution?
Increase the power backup.
Okay. So something like in my internet, in my homes, I increased power backup, something like a UPS. I added UPS. The same way, power goes down, and I enabled a UPS, but it will sustain a 1 hour or 2 hours. Then after,
Okay.
the same way internet also. So it will goes down something like intermittent every 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Guys, any idea?
Yes, maybe spin up another server, another Dell Power Edge.
Yeah. So
Yes, yes. I think that's okay.
Or I think
yeah.
that's where the cloud comes.
Sorry.
I'm saying that's where the cloud comes.
Yeah, cloud
Because
come before cloud, what we are using.
Increase the servers.
So increase the servers also, there is no power backup, there is no internet. So what is the possibility if the increases the server also, it will goes down, right? So whenever the power goes down, it automatically goes down every server.
We can store the code. We can store the code in Git,
No.
like some other place.
maybe
Host in data centers.
maybe
Yes,
backup.
yes.
something.
Who is that? 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 Data center?
What?
That's
Who
me,
told?
Mirza.
Who told?
No, that's me, Mirza.
I think you.
Yeah, data center is the good resource. Something like, so what data centers are provided? So they provided multiple power backups and multiple internets. So that's the reason. So that the data centers, the physical data centers comes into the picture. So the physical data centers comes into the picture. So very good. Something like Mirza, something like, who is that guy? Miraj.
Yeah, Mirza.
Mirza, very good. Mirza.
There are two Mirzas here.
Yeah. So very good, Mirza. So that is the concept. So what I'm trying to achieve is something like, so in our house also we need to deploy our servers. But what we need to do? So we need a more power backup and we need more internet backup. So then only we can keep our site into something like, our site will be uptime 99.99% and durability. So what the data centers motto is, data centers, DC, data centers. So data center. So what is data center? Something like, so a data center is something like a software company that provides a rental spaces for keeping our servers into that platform. Now you got it right, guys. So that data center means they provided a rental space for keeping our servers into that center. That is nothing but a data center. They provided uptime 99.99% and durability also. So uptime 99.99% means they are, so something like a power UPS, something like a generators. They are providing 10 types or 20 types of power backups. So it will, so something like a power goes down, it will so it automatically connect to the UPS. If UPS goes down, it automatically connect to the generator 1, generator 2, generator 3, then so generator 10. Now so the uptime will be 99.99%. Durability also. The same way, internet also, something like, so in India, something like, in US, something like AT&T, I don't know exactly what are the companies, ISP providers. So in India, Act, Airtel, Beam, Vodafone, something like a Geo. So something like 10 types of BSNL, 10 types of internet backups they are providing. So if something like Act goes down, it automatically switches to Vodafone goes down, it automatically switches to Airtel. So the uptime will be 99.99%, right? The site cannot be reached. So it will be available every time. So something like, so these are the racks. Data center, how data center works, something like data center. So the same like, so this is the data center. So data center, so keeps in racks. So in the racks, so we can buy the space and we can keep our servers. We can keep our servers into the racks. So we can keep servers into the racks. Now you got it right, guys. Data center. What is a data center?
So we
Yes, sir.
have to buy the area or the servers to keep over there. are we just buying the new servers and putting there, or they are just providing us servers and we are renting?
Whatever you want, something like they are also tie up with the hardware companies. So if you want, you can buy it, something like a Dell PowerEdge, right? Yesterday I already show you, right? Something like a Dell PowerEdge R710 images. So this is the server. This is the server platform hardware. So if you want, you can buy it and you can keep. So you can get the code from the data center. So what is the rental space for a 1 year or a 2 years or 3 years commitment? So you can get the code and you can finalize and you can keep your servers into the data center. Data center. So data centers in India, something like a controllers. Something like this is the controllers, Asia's largest rated 4-tier data center, and NetMagic's also there. So how they can keep the servers? So you see, right, guys, these are the servers. We keep it in the, yes, you see, right? So this is the server. This is the server. This is the server. So we keep it in the racks. Keep it in the racks. Now you got it right, guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So where we where we keep our servers will be keep it in the
Data centers.
So why? Because so we need a uptime, 99.99% uptime. That's the reason. So we keep it our servers into data center. Something like this is one server. So this is one server. So this is one server. This is one server. This is one server. So in the racks, the servers will be keep it in here. So whatever we want, we can get the space for rental, and we can keep it our servers into the data centers. Data center. This is the data center. This is the data center. Now you got it right, guys.
Also, because of the cloud, nowadays they are calling on-premise.
Yes, very good. Who told something like?
Mirza, the other Mirza.
Yeah, the name is on premises. So on premises, data center name is called as a on premises, and the latest one is cloud. The next one is cloud. So on premises, cloud environment, on premises environment, and cloud environment. So you will get a clarity why we are going to the cloud. Something like. So I have a something like, for example, any something like any creation, something like a bike or a car. So something like, for example, I will take the car example. So I have a thought or something like I want to create a electric car. So first, what we need to do, the same like as a SDLC. So analysis and design. So first we need to develop. We need to develop the car, right, guys? Develop or create the car, build the car, right, guys? First we need to development stage. So after development of the stage, something like, what I thought, something like I need to provide a 400 kilometers for a charge, something like so I will keep something like I will keep one time charging for 300 or 400 kilometers, something like 400 kilometers or miles. So how we can test? So in the testing stage. So once the testing stage is done, everything looks good. So it will be on the showroom.
Prediction.
Showroom is nothing but a production. Production stage. So there are, so if you want to build a new car, so it will be a 3 stages, 3 types of environments, right? First, we need to do it in the development environment. So then, so we need to test it in the testing environment. Then it will be an production environment. So finally, so this car is in the showrooms. So we can buy. So everything is developed and tested. Everything is developed and tested. They are saying okay to use. They are saying okay to use. There is no bugs. So everything looks good. Everything looks good. Now you got it right, guys. So how many environments are there? A development environment, a testing environment, and a production environment. Right? So staging is nothing but a QA or sandbox or whatever it may be. QA, quality assurance testing. So development environment, testing environment, and production environment. So how many environments are there?
3.
3 environments are. Now you got it right, guys. The same like in the software also. In the software also, something like I want to create a Facebook or WhatsApp. So first we need to develop the code, then we can test the code, then we can move into the production. Production means live. So end user, so whatever the Facebook we are using, that is the production. So whatever we are using the facebook.com, that is the production. So that is the production. So this, why it's not getting. Yeah. So these 2 environments, something like a development and testing environments, it calling as a non-production. Non-production environment. So non-production environment means a development environment and a QA environment. So what are the non-production environment? Something like a dev means development environment, and as a QA environment, QA. So ENV same like as staging ENV, or else UAT, user acceptance test, or else pre-prod. Pre-prod means production like setup. So these are the non-production environment. So non-production environment. So this is a production environment. So this is a live or a production environment. This is the production environment. So production environment means a live servers. So live servers, if something goes wrong, the site cannot be reached, right? So site cannot be reached. Something like a business impact is there. So Facebook, how the business impact. So production servers having a business impact. So business impact means revenue generation. Revenue generation. So how we can get the revenue? So something like a production Facebook. So with the help of ads, so we can get the business, right? We can get the revenue. If something like a Facebook site is down, how we can get the business? Something like we cannot play the ads because of the site was in down, right? So in production environment, we need a business impact or a revenue generation. It's a live servers. It's live servers. So business impact, it will be an impact. If definitely if it is a site cannot be reached, definitely it will be a impact. It will be a impact. So in non-production, so which people are using in the production, which people are using something like ours, myself, you guys are using, end users are using the Facebook, right? So non-production means a company environment, company people, something like a development people accessing the development environment, QA people accessing the QA environment as staging and UAT and pre-prod. So this is a non-impact, no impact, because of there is no business here. That's right. So there is no revenue generation here. That is the reason there is no impact. If something like dev goes down, so how many people are affecting? How many people are affecting? Guys, tell
No
me.
one.
So how many people? So this is the GitHub. So this is the people. So how many people are developing the developing our code? Only 3 people, or 5 people, or 10 people. How many people are affecting this environment?
Only the developers.
Only developers. So developers means in our organization. In our organization, only 3 people affecting, right? So there is no impact. So we can create. Whatever the time we want. Something like if 1 day, 2 day, there is no impact because of. So the revenue generation is not there in the non-production environment. So so we need to test, we need to build, and we need to test. Then only we can get it in the production. So that's the reason there is no impact. There is no impact on the non-production environment. Guys, now you understand, right?
Can you please repeat this, Hari? I just didn't get this.
Yeah.
The GitHub thing.
So GitHub thing, right? So developers develop the code, right? Develop the code and push it in the GitHub. And they tested in the development environment. First, they tested in the development environment. So development means a non-production environment. So what are the servers we need? So something like we need a one app server, we need a one database server, and we need a one messaging queue server. So we need a one messaging queue server. So these all are the servers. So if you want to deploy application, so we need these 3, something like. So this is CentOS 7. So this is also CentOS 7. So how we can interact the hardware? First, we need to install the OS, right? Then only we can able to connect with that. We can able to so interact with the server. So how we can do it? Something like, so this is a app server. So the first one is a app server. The second one is a DB server. So DB server. So the fourth one is a something like a messaging queue server, like a RabbitMQ, whatever may be. So these 3 are needed to deploy our application. So they write the code. And they deploy it into the first in which environment? A development environment. So this is a dev environment. So this is the dev environment. The same like as a QA environment. So QA people are also testing in the QA environment and pre-production environment. So once all the application passes, okay, there is no bugs. So then we will deploy into a production environment. We will deploy into the production environment. Now you got it? Who is asking? I forgot.
Yeah, Hari, I got it.
You got it, right? Guys,
Hari, GitHub is the environment or?
No.
Where is
GitHub is the source code management tool. So whatever the code writing a developer, so we will keep it in the GitHub. So why we need to keep it in the GitHub, I will tell you. Something like I am a developer. I am working in India. Something like some of the guys are working in Canada. Some of the guys are working in US. So we need to something like 3 modules are there. So I have one module, US guy, I have one module, and something like Canada guy have a one module. So these three people are writing the code and keep it in the a source code, something like a repository. So something like so whenever we create the code, so we something like our manager, our lead, so our lead is in working from the US. So how I can see my code to the my lead. So I am in India and my manager is in US. So that the code is in my laptop. How you can see?
So it's more like a collaboration
Yes,
tool. Like,
collaboration tool. So we can push it in the GitHub, or we can push it in the Git repository. Say my lead also verify that code. If it is good, so we can commit. We can commit our code into the repository. So it is not, he can reject that code. Something like he needs some modifications on that code. Again, I can modify that code and I can and created a pull request. So again, you watch that code and see if it's good. They can merge it to the something like they can merge it, or they can commit it, or they can push it to the repository. You guys understand, right?
yeah, and
Whenever
so
we
from
start, whenever we start the GitHub, I will show you everything from scratch. Okay. We don't want to
Yeah,
disturb
that would be
people.
helpful, Hari. Yeah.
So we don't want to disturb the. So today I'm telling you the environments. What are the environments are there? So how we can deploy a application into the production. So what are the stages are there? Okay.
Okay, Hari. Okay, done.
Yeah. Guys, now you understand, right? Dev environment is there. QA same way. QA environment is there. QA environment, QA people is working. If it crashes, if that dev environment crashes, so who will be the impact persons? So a development team, right? Development
Yeah.
team are the impacted, but there is no business impact, right here. So
Yeah.
here, because of there is no revenue generation, there is no revenue generation on the dev environment. So in the production environment, we have a ads, and we have a, so something like we generated the revenue from the production environment. So that's the reason production environment is having a business impact. So business impact. Now you got it right, guys. Something like a production environment and non-production environment, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Hari.
yep.
Guys, any doubts?
I absolutely didn't get everything, but I hope I can have the recording of this class so I can be able to go through it before tomorrow's class.
Okay, you can go through it.
All right, thank you.
Dev environment is a non-production environment.
Yes, dev environment is a non-production environment. I already show you, right?
So actually, anything that is not production is non-production.
Yes. So the concept of physical virtualization and something like a cloud. So why something like a cloud? So why virtualization? So how the physical, something like a physical server, Dell PowerEdge physical server, something like a physical server configuration is the resources is something like a RAM, a 512 GB, and the CPU. The CPU is 20 CPUs. So 20 CPUs and the hard disk. Hard disk is 2 TB. So if it is a production, production server, so we need 512 RAM and CPU and something like so Facebook. So I deployed a Facebook on the server. So how many people are connecting Facebook a daily, something like a daily basis, something like a lakhs of people or crores of people, right? So we need that much amount of RAM, CPU, and hard disk. For example, this is the how something like a the Dell PowerEdge server is we buy something like a 5 lakhs. So 5 lakhs and keep it in the data center, something like other 5 lakhs. Other 5 lakhs. A total cost is something like total equal.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Yes.
What is 5 lakhs?
For example, I'm saying this is not an exact cost. I don't know how much.
5 lakhs is 500K.
Say it again.
It's 500,000.
Okay. Oh, okay. I get it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's Indian way of counting.
Yeah, something like dollars. Dollars is something like a $5,000. Something like a $5,000 for a to buy the servers and $5,000 for a to keep the server in the data center. Something like it take $10,000 per one server. So if it is a production, so something like the people are connecting every day 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, or 3 lakhs. So it sustain this much amount of RAM, CPU, and hard disk, the application logs and everything. So we need this server for a production, but in the non-production environment. So non-production environment. So non-production environment, how many people are working? For example, it's a dev environment. Dev environment, how many people are working? 3 people are connecting, 3 people are working on this server, right? So something like and in the non-production there is no revenue generation, something like so we don't want this much amount of configuration. This much amount of configuration are a resource. We need RAM something like a 2 GB, 2 at 10 GB, and something like a CPU, 2 core CPU, and something like hard disk space 20 GB is enough. So 20 GB is enough for a development server. So because of a development server accessing only accessing so 5 to 10 people. So 5 to 10 people. So we don't need this much amount of RAM, CPU, hardware. So then that time, a virtualization comes into the picture. So a big innovative thought. What is that? A big innovative thought. A big innovative thought. So that is a virtualization. So that is a virtualization concept, a big innovative thought. So what is virtualization means? So virtualization is something like see VMware, there are some companies are providing the virtualization, something like Windows provide a hypervisor. So VMware provides VMware ESXi, then thing like Oracle provides OVM, Oracle Virtual Machine. So these are the types of virtualization. So what is the virtualization concept? So we can so what is virtualization? Something like they created one software. Something like Android. So Android voice is right there. They're right. Smartphones, in the smartphones, we are installing the Android voice. So what is Android voice? So Android voice is the software. So the software. So something like Android voice is a bare metal software. Android software is a bare metal software. What is bare metal software? So on top of something like they are in the Android, they are using a bottom level Linux OS, and they designed their OS and Android OS and combine it release as a Android OS. Android OS. The same like way VMware, they created their own software, and on bottom they use a Linux kernel. They use Linux kernel and combine it to them and created as a one OS. So that is VMware ESXi. So if you install the VMware ESXi on a physical server, so what he tells, like, so we need to use the resources, whatever the resources are there, so we can use it on we can use it and we can install it on different types of OSs. So different types of OS are the same OS. So we can utilize our resources into the virtualization, something like as a virtual machine. So this is nothing but a VM. So VM is nothing but a virtual machine. Virtual machine. So something like in Red Hat we can so we can use, right? So this is using a minimal something like a 2 GB of RAM and 2 CPU and 10 GB hard disk. So remaining everything will be free. Remaining everything will be free, and we can use that resource and we can create whatever we want. Whatever we want, we can create it. Whatever we want, we can create it. So I think VMware guys are there, right? Guys, VMware people is there, right? Something like yesterday someone told I'm working as a VMware administrator.
Well, I have a VMware certification when I work on VMware.
So this is the concept. Yeah, this is the concept of VMware. So in the non-production environment, so we can use the virtualization concept and we can install the OSs. Something like here, something like a $10,000 per a server. But here, so the same server we installed as a VMware, the same $10,000, same $10,000. So $10,000, but we can divide into 10 OSs. We can divide into 10 OSs. We can divide into 10 OSs. So something like how much? So here one OS, so it having a $10,000, but here so 10 OSs. How much amount of for one OS, one virtual machine? Something like a how much, guys? 1,000.
1,000.
Yes. So $1,000 per one
1,000. Yeah.
OS. So it is a big impact. Big impact. Something like it reduces the cost 90%. It reduces the cost 90%. Something like here 10,000, here only 1,000 per VM. So in the non-production environment, we don't need this much amount of resources. So we need a small amount of resources. So we can install on the Dell PowerEdge hardware and the VMware, and we can divide into multiple OSs. We can divide into multiple OS. That is nothing but a virtualization. So here, so every OS something like a $10,000. $10,000. Something like $1,000. So here the big impact, and 90% of reduced cost, something like a cost reduce. So cost optimized 90%. Cost optimized in the 90% virtualization. Guys, give me a second. Guys, something like a $1,000 per a server. $1,000 per a server, something like here. So we reduced 90%. We reduced 90%. Something like these two are keep it in the data centers, right? So developer, how many hours working per day?
8 hours.
8 hours. So per day 24 hours, but the servers are utilizing only 8 hours, right? So remaining 16 hours are waste, right? So if you are not using, so if you are keeping the servers in the data center, so if you are using or if you are shut down, if you are not using, definitely we need to pay. So if you are use or if you are not using, so they don't want. So if you keep the server, definitely we need to pay the money, right? Here, something like non-production environment, a QA people or a development people are working 8 hours, but so every day, something like a 16 hours, the waste of money, right? The waste of money. So something like a week, Monday to Friday, 16 hours, and Saturday, Sunday, so 48 hours. So 48 into 80, 48 plus something like 80. How much? So 120 hours. So 120 hours, 128 hours per week. So 128 per hours week, something like a 4 weeks a month, something like a 12 months. How many hours are wasting our something like our servers? So something like here also a big innovative thought comes. So that is the cloud. So cloud is a pay as you go model. What is pay as you go model? Something like a development non-production environment. We launched on the cloud. We launched on the cloud. So we launched on the cloud as servers. So here also the concept is virtualization. They already predefined virtualization concept. So whenever something like whenever the developer comes into the office, it start the server, and whenever he went to the home, it shut down the server. So the cloud model is, so whenever we use the server, we use the server, or we start the server, the money will start something like a the money will calculate in the hours. So 8 hours you need to pay. So we shut down 16 hours. We don't want to pay for the shutdown hours. So something like pay as you go model. Whenever we use the server, then only we can pay. If the server is shut down state, we don't want to pay the money. So a big innovative thought, something like it also reduces 90%. It also reduces 90% of 90%. How much cost? Here is $1,000. Here is $100 per server. $100 per server. So that's the reason cloud comes into the picture. So we have a more advantages in the cloud. So I will tell you. So in the data center, they are providing only IaaS, infra as a service. But in the cloud, they are providing IaaS and PaaS and SaaS. So software as a service, platform as a service, and infra as a service. They are providing the extra these two, platform as a service and software as a service. Only in data center they provide only IaaS. So but apart from this, so they are providing PaaS and SaaS. So tomorrow I will tell you, so what exactly why cloud. Guys, now you understand.
I have one question.
Yeah.
If the server is turned off and there is no cost, is there a storage fee for data?
Yeah. So a good question. Who is asking?
Sayed.
Sayed, very good. Something like so something like if you stop the server, the storage will not move. The storage will be here. So if something like, what are the resources? RAM and CPU. So if you stop this server, the RAM and CPU will allocate to another server. That's the reason. So whenever we start the server, we can pay the money. So if you shut down your server, the resources automatically will allocate to the another server. That's the reason. So whenever we start the server, then only we can pay. So otherwise we can't pay. So what are the resources we need to move? Only RAM and CPU, not the hard disk. So we don't want to pay the money for the storage. We want to pay money for the resources. Now you got it?
Yes.
Now you got it, right? Guys, any doubts?
Yes.